The NBA is one of the hardest places to play in and to keep your job in. There's only about 540 players in the NBA, and if you look at any draft class, so many of the names on there aren't even on a roster anymore, or are struggling to keep a roster spot. And that applies from the first pick to the 60th pick. But there are some players that never gave up, and after being out of the league are now great players with big roles on their new teams. Dante Exum was the 5th overall pick in the 2014 draft, coming out of Australia, and in his rookie season, he played all 82 games, averaging 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, but in the offseason, he tore his ACL while playing for Australia. Dante would then suffer a lot of injuries for the next 3.5 years on the Jazz, until they traded him to Cleveland in December 2019 and played 30 games with them before getting traded to the Rockets and immediately got waived, no longer being in the NBA. And while he could have just given up, he decided to go play in Europe as he signed with Barcelona and played 1 year there, averaging 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. He then made a huge move to Serbian giants Partizan Belgrade, which is one of the toughest places to play, and his points per game jumped to 13 with 3 assists and 2 rebounds, while his 3-point percentage went up to 42% from 3 in the EuroLeague after his shooting was one of his biggest flaws. Dante's impressive play during 2 years away in Europe didn't go unnoticed, as the Dallas Mavericks gave Exum a 2-year minimum deal to return to the NBA. So far during his first season back in the league, he's been having the best year of his career, averaging 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 57% from the field and 45% from 3 while playing 20 minutes a game and being the Mavericks' best perimeter defender. He's also started 14 games this season while Kyrie Irving was injured, and in those games he averaged 15 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds, and has been one of Jason Kidd's favorite players. Another player that was a high draft pick not that long ago is Dennis Smith Jr., who was the 9th pick by the Mavericks in 2017. Smith played 69 games as a rookie and averaged 15 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds while making all-rookie second team. The Mavericks then proceeded to draft another ball-dominant guard in Luka Doncic and traded away Dennis Smith Jr. to the Knicks for Kristaps Porzingis. Dennis then played 58 games for the Knicks over 2 seasons, averaging 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds before getting traded to the Detroit Pistons for 20 games, averaging 7 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds. Smith then signed with the Portland Trail Blazers in September of 2021, and after 37 games as a Blazer, he was waived after suffering a right elbow injury. Smith was a free agent from January 2022 to September 2022, and in that time, he said that he had no interest of going overseas to play basketball and started training to become an NFL player. But in September 2022, his home team of the Charlotte Hornets signed Smith to a 1-year deal, and it was a great opportunity for him to prove that he belongs in the league. And he did just that, playing 54 games, averaging 9 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds in just under 26 minutes a game, while separating himself as one of the best guard defenders in the league. After a great year in Charlotte, he signed with the Brooklyn Nets on a 1-year deal and plays 20 minutes a game, so it seems like Dennis Smith Jr. has secured himself a spot in the league once again. Kris Dunn was the number 5 pick in the 2016 NBA draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I remember Celtic fans wanted to take him at number 3 instead of Jaylen Brown so he could play for his hometown team. After a pretty mid-year in Minnesota, only playing 17 minutes a game and averaging 4 points, he got traded to the Bulls in a deal for Jimmy Butler, and in year 2 his minutes went up to 30 a game, and he averaged 13 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds, and that would actually be his best season as a Bull, as he struggled with turnovers and didn't have a jump shot. So after 3 years in Chicago, where he was actually getting worse each year, he signed with the Atlanta Hawks and was struggling with injuries the whole time and only played 4 games with the Hawks. Dunn was then traded to the Grizzlies, who waived him after 1 preseason game. Kris would then keep playing in the G League, and in 2022, after 2 10-day contracts with the Trailblazers, he signed a rest of season contract with them, but would then be back in the G League the following season until February 2023, when the Jazz signed Dunn to 2 10-day contracts, and he was playing amazing with the Jazz, shooting the ball better than he ever has and leading them in assists, which led to Kris signing a multi-year contract with the Jazz. Now Kris Dunn has started 12 games for the Jazz this season, including their last 10 games, and the Jazz are 9-3 when he starts. It seems like with these 3 players, the one thing that has helped them get back in the league is their defense, which is great to see.